Expressed within this program are that of the host and their guests and does not necessarily reflect the views of this station, Metro Plus AM 1044.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Campus Radio.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Cheryl and we'll be your hosts tonight.
That's right.
To start off, we're going to be playing a song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What song? What song are you playing?
It's not this.
It's
not this.
It's not this.
This program
Oh.
the host and their guests and does not necessarily reflect the views of this.
A brand new car, a drop top, F-top Jaguar. We look for heaven, but it's not this. We look for heaven, but it's not this. Walking closet, sun shoes, cold champagne in the afternoon. We look for heaven, but it's not this. We look for heaven, but it's not this. I've been dreaming all my life, been looking for that new thing. We look for heaven, but it's not this.
It's Not This by Barrison. Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. So, okay. So, yesterday it was International Women's Day, in case you didn't know that.
The 8th of March.
And on Hong Kong FP, there was an article about how how Hong Kong is not a welcoming city for women, working women, or working mothers. So, hearing that, what are your first impressions?
Well, I think I know I have some friends whose parents, like mothers don't work, but are you asking what my opinion is on this?
Yeah, what are your initial thoughts when you hear this title? Because for me, I never thought that Hong Kong was a place that women felt like they were unequal to men. And that's because I grew up very fortunate in a place where my education was prioritized just as much as boys' education is. Yeah. And I was always under the impression that women in Hong Kong were treated equally as men.
Well, I always assume that, of course, women there's a less percentage of women that worked compared to men. But how much did he say? Is there a percentage that?
Oh, yes, there is. According to this website, only 55% of women in Hong Kong are in the workforce, lagging behind mainland China, Japan, and Singapore.
What about men? Do you know what percentage of men? Oh, you don't know? It's not in the article.
Yeah, it's not in the article, but let's talk about women first.
Okay.
So this article states that women now surpass male university graduates at 53% and are entering into the workforce in equal numbers as men. But they are not progressing into the positions of influence and leadership at the same rates. This article states that only 29% of management roles in Hong Kong belong to women, lagging behind regional neighbors of Australia, Malaysia, mainland China, and Singapore. And even worse is that the percentage is even lower at the board level, which is, I assume, like the highest level of like management for
Hong Kong.
For like jobs like Hang Seng Index listed companies, and women actually only take up 14% of those jobs, which is quite a shock since you know currently like women graduate. Women graduate. There are more women graduating than men in Hong Kong.
Oh, I didn't know that either. There are?
I just said it.
Oh, okay.
53% now. So it surpasses men for university graduates.
Mm-hmm.
So, Catherine, what do you think this could be because of?
Well, I have no idea. What do you think it's because of?
Well, first of all, like this article states that one of the challenges would be because...
I think you need to speak louder.
Okay. Well, because one of the challenges is that the maternity leave for new mothers in Hong Kong is only 10 weeks compared to others that are up to 14 weeks. So this is a issue that young mothers will face in Hong Kong, and I think that it is unfair, and this definitely could be changed.
Yeah, I know my aunt, she had to stop working and quit her job because she had a son and she had to raise her son, and her job didn't allow her to go on like a break, so she ended up quitting her job. So now like that house income relies on my uncle.
And what are your views about like women, the women working domestically, and how there are a lot more women who work at home than men who work at home?
What are my views on that?
Yeah, like do you think it's normal because, you know, stereotypically like women stay at home and men do the working?
Well, I feel like some women, some mothers may not want to work. They may want to spend time with their children, and you know, like especially families that don't have helpers, they need someone to stay at home, and that's usually the mother, not the father. Well, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about this subject matter before.
I think that like women should feel like they can work, that they're not more obligated to stay at home, and I think that like domestic responsibilities should be split between
the father
and the mother. But then again, each family is different in how they work as a unit.
Yeah, of
and
course.
so this can't be like generalized to everybody. But I think that it's important for young people to know, especially like young women, to know that their future is in their own hands, and they should not be limited by what the roles that society puts on them.
Just wondering, does your mother work? Does your mom work?
Oh yes, yeah, both my parents work. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, both. Well, my dad lives in Korea, so but my mom works.
What about in the future? Do you think you want to work after you have kids?
Or spend time with my children?
What do you think is more important for you individually, right? Like in the future. Obviously, this is hypothetical.
I think I'd want to work because, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't even think of like a job, like what job I want to do when I'm older.
Yeah, true.
So, depends how much I like my job, I guess. And if we're if I have a husband, if his income will be enough for the family. Because if it's not, then I'd probably have to work, right? Wouldn't I?
Well, yeah, but, I think it's like men shouldn't feel threatened if their female partner works more than them, or if they gain more money. If they earn more money, because I think like at least in Asian culture, like there's a stigma against the wife working and earning more money than the husband.
Yeah,
I don't think that should be the case, because I mean, like, if your wife earns a lot of money, then you should just be happy that she can lift some of that responsibility off you.
I feel like men feel obligated to be the main breadwinner in the family, and if they are, they'll feel sort of ashamed. So I think that's like a whole nother thing, but like a pressure for men.
Yeah. But I really don't think that should be the case, and I think that as we're progressing with society's progress, then I think more men are more open-minded towards women taking responsibility in the workforce.
Yeah, that's a.
So to all the women out there, to all the mothers and the young women and everyone else, happy International Women's Day.
Yes, happy late International Women's Day.
Yes,
because that was yesterday. Yeah, I heard you had a second article. Do you have a second article to
Yes, the second news that I would like to share with everybody is that so when you think of Hong Kong public toilets, I'm sure that most of us wouldn't think of very clean toilets. I mean,
not very hygienic,
a bit smelly, and maybe it's a clogged, and it's not that pleasant to use compared to toilets,
private bathrooms.
Yeah, or bathrooms in malls and such.
Yeah.
But what we don't consider is that the cleaners who clean these toilets have a lot worse than our common users, right? And there's this article on SCMP that reads, Hong Kong's lowly paid elderly toilet cleaner suffers in silence and stench as city struggles with dirty public loos. So, Catherine, what do you think could be a solution to alleviate the kind of unpleasant job that these cleaners have to endure every day?
I don't know what the word alleviate means.
It is lessen, just make their jobs easier. What do you think would make their jobs easier with this clean toilet, with the dirty toilet problem?
Well, I think that relies on the people who use them, right? So that, and I guess, I don't know, how many times a day does the cleaner clean the bathroom? Do you know?
It doesn't say here, but, and I quote on the site, it says, the cleaner, who is a 60-year-old grandmother, says that, I've been told not to use this much bleach, which is 1 part bleach, 2 parts water, because it's bad for the health. As we all know, bleach is not very good for your skin or just human health in general. But and she states, but how else would you get rid of the smell? And so there's this problem of hygiene, obviously, and also there's a problem where there really isn't a good solution to this problem, because bleach, which is the only thing that can get rid of the smell, is bad for health, and so it's
like-
kind of like you can pick one over the other. So, yeah, what do you think could be a solution to that?
Well, we'd have to find some other method to cleaning the bathrooms that is effective and not harmful towards the health, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use public bathrooms? Like, in what kind of situations do you use public bathrooms?
When I need to use a bathroom in public, quite obviously. But usually if I'm in an area like Causeway Bay or such, or a place like that, I would just go to like Lee Gardens or like Times Square, where the bathrooms are generally cleaner because it's in a private mall.
I don't know any public bathrooms in Causeway Bay, I think.
But I also think that if a bathroom is nicely like furnished, then people will be more inclined to maintain the hygiene. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of these like sometimes unpleasant, like lower class jobs, many jobs in the future will be replaced by technology and robots. How do you think that will impact our society? Because now apparently people are already creating like self-driven cars.
I saw on the news where in China they're making like AI news reporters.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like if you open the news, instead of like a person talking about the news and saying like, oh, the weather's like this and blah blah blah, they're making like AI do that.
Yeah,
so
so many jobs are already like in the process of being replaced. Like the other day, I was at a sushi restaurant with a friend, and you know how Genki Sushi, they have the little like trains that deliver your food. Like that is an example of how technology has replaced like human jobs, right? And so how do you think that will really affect our future?
Well, obviously, since AI, like technology is replacing our jobs, and people would obviously have less options to take to work. Yeah, and stop asking me questions. What about you? What do you think?
Well, another example would be like, you know how in many supermarkets like you can self-checkout now, so you don't really need to a cashier. And I think that has like positive consequences as well as negative consequences. Positive being like it is generally more efficient, but however
For the customers,
yes.
Yeah.
But people's jobs are being replaced by robots, and that's going to create a huge economical issue.
Unemployment will increase.
Yeah, exactly. And like there was this statistics, and I might be wrong, but around 80% of the jobs in the future will
80%?
Yeah, will be newly invented. Like 80% of the jobs that exist today will not continue in the future.
But will invent new jobs?
Either that or technology will replace some jobs.
Like, you know how computers were created? It replaced a lot of like existing jobs at the time when computers were starting to become a thing. But at the same time, it created a lot of new jobs for people.
That is true.
Such as like, I don't know, like IT person, or what other jobs are there for computers? Well, there are like
many.
Yeah. And they open new businesses.
That's true. That's
new
true.
businesses, like they need workers and like employment.
Yeah, and there was this TV show in Spanish called
Spain.
In
Spanish. Okay, in Spanish. Yeah, sorry.
But also set in Spain.
Yeah.
It's called Las Chicas del Cables. Yeah, and it's about like early 1900s 1900s Madrid, and how like that was when like the telephone, like phones were first invented. And you might not know this, but the phones they had to be manually connected through people. So you'd call the line, and then someone would be like, oh, who do you want to talk to? And then they'd manually connect to the the person you want to call. And so, you know, when wireless telephones were introduced, or when like new technology was brought in, all these people who were working as the connector for the phones, they ran out of jobs. They didn't have any more jobs. So I think it's inevitable for our jobs to be replaced and advanced. So yeah.
Oh, speaking of phones, I remember my friend told me recently that payphones are starting to disappear because, well, we don't need payphones anymore,
true.
right? But that's a bad thing. And like, payphone companies are closing down, and it's a bad thing because if there was some sort of natural disaster, we wouldn't be able to contact each other because the phone lines would be down. But payphone allows us to contact other people in natural disasters, I think, because it runs differently, not through like the standard phone lines. So that's a bad.
Well, that's interesting to think about, because if there's a natural disaster, I would assume that like the payphone would be knocked down as well.
That too.
So,
well, I don't know. And also,
and phones are wireless, so I'd assume that they'd be.
No, because they have to. I don't know. This is what I heard from a friend.
Let's say there was like an earthquake or something. I feel like the phone post would be the first to be knocked down.
Okay, whatever. I didn't think of this. And do you know the HMV store in Causeway Bay?
Oh, yes.
The huge one? I think it's closed down now.
Oh, no.
And I heard like all of the HMV stores in Hong Kong might be closing down because people aren't really buying CDs as much anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Since January. Yeah, since January, all of the HMV stores are gone.
Oh, no.
That's because they're having trouble.
Yeah, because now with media, like it's like people watch movies on Netflix. They watch movies on their computer. They listen music on Spotify or Apple Music.
Yeah.
Nobody buys CDs anymore. And I remember the last time I bought a CD was when I was in year 5 or 6. And then after that, it was just all online music. So
that's close.
It's a bit sad, but it's also like, I think it's inevitable, you know? Technology's advancing. People have to move along with it.
Also, moving on, our next song will be playing Sucker by Jonas Brothers, and just wondering, did you ever listen to the Jonas Brothers? Do you know who the Jonas Brothers are?
Yes, I know who the Jonas Brothers are, but they were never a huge part of my childhood.
Okay. Well, they recently got together. Because I think they split up in like 2000. I was watching some, like, I was reading an article about this. They split in like 2013, and then they recently got back together and came out with a new song, which is pretty cool. And they're all married now as well.
Yeah. Nick Jonas recently got married to Priyanka Chopra.
I heard they had like 18 weddings or something.
They had like 2 weddings.
They had like 18.
Really? Because I heard that they had one traditional Indian wedding, and then they had a Western wedding, and yeah, it's cool. Yeah, they had like, their weddings were a huge deal in the media.
Yeah. So yeah, they recently came back out.
All right, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Bye.
Metro Plus, your radio weather.
Mainly cloudy with a few showers. Visibility relatively low in some areas at first. More showers and isolated thunderstorms overnight. It will be cool. Temperatures will range between 16 and 18 degrees tomorrow. Moderate to fresh northeasterly winds, occasionally strong offshore at first. Relative humidity stands at 95%. For the outlook, mainly fine with cool mornings in the following couple of days. And that's the weather from your radio, plus 1044.
With government support, HKMC Insurance Limited has introduced special concessionary measures under its SME Financing Guarantee Scheme. The scheme introduces an 80% loan guarantee ratio and substantially reduces the guarantee fee. Additionally, the government provides a total guarantee commitment of $100 billion. Application details can be found at www.hkmc.com.hk/SFGS.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me. We change the weather, yeah. I'm feeling heat in December when you found me. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you inside my brain, and baby, you know it's obvious. I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. And you're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Don't complicate it. Yeah. 'Cause I know you and you know everything about me. I can't remember all of the nights I don't remember when you're around me. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain, and baby, you know it's obvious. I'm a sucker for you. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. And you're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain, and baby, you know it's obvious. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Say the word and I'll go anywhere blindly. I'm a sucker for you. Yeah. Any road you take, you know that you'll find me. I'm a sucker for all the subliminal things no one knows about you, about you, about you, about you. And you're making the typical me break my typical rules. It's true, I'm a sucker for you. I'm a sucker for you.
Alright, so that song was Sucker by Jonas Brothers. And yeah, did you like the song?
I love the song. Did you?
Yeah, is it your first time listening to it?
Yeah, it actually is. How about you?
No, I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times, I think. I saw the music video, so.
Oh.
Yes. Anyways, we are in year 12 right now, so, and we've just begun the process of college, like, doing of our college admissions.
College application.
College applications.
So,
And,
yeah. And so we've all, like, researched some schools and thought about, like, what we like in a school, what we don't like. And so, as for me, let's talk about our top 3 priorities that we look for in a school. For me, the first one would definitely be the location.
People? Oh, location, yeah.
Yeah, personally, I can't really stand the cold too much. Not, like, I like the snow and stuff, but then I can't stand, like, you know, like, gloomy weather every day. So I personally wouldn't choose the UK. But that's probably not a very
Does it rain a
wide
lot
reason.
in the UK?
I've actually never been to England, but in my head, in my mind, England is just, like, rainy weather, and I hate rainy weather. So I don't think
are you applying at all to the UK?
No, I'm not.
And you're not planning to visit it either or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay. So
what's your first priority?
I guess maybe how many people are in the school? Like population in the school?
And what's your ideal population?
Just like average. Like no way.
What's average for you there? What is average for you? Care to share?
So I know there's a university that has only like 700 students, so that is not okay for me. That's too little people. I feel like you're bound to 700 people, and I don't. Anyway.
You want to have a bigger community.
Yeah.
So
and I think a lot would be like we were talking about it earlier.
I think like
60,000 is a lot.
Yeah. So
Like, I think UCLA is like a huge school, and I don't know if
you'd be able to go to a school with that
because-
many
yeah,
people.
exactly. And when you say a number like 55,000, it's like, what is that number? I can't even imagine it in my head. Like, it just sounds like a number to me. But then if you look at the people in your school and you think
Our secondary school.
yeah, our secondary school. So there's 120 kids per year, around that much. And we have within the secondary school we have 7-year groups. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So like 7-year groups. What's 7 times 120? That's
less than 1,000. Like
that's
around,
940.
like, oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's 940. And so that is like, oh, like quite a lot, but it's not enough for like a college to me. But then if I multiply that by like 55, that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to like immerse myself in such a big environment and just be like, you know.
Because you don't really get to know people very well. I feel like if it's such a big school, like.
Well, I'm sure you'll find people from like your classes and like extracurriculars, but it's just such a big community, and like
I think it's difficult to run into the same person like 2 or 3 times in a day.
Yeah, especially if your schedules are all different.
Yeah. So I think like average. I haven't done enough research into this, but I'd say average, in my opinion, is like 20-something thousand people. So that's one thing that matters to me. Well, what else matters to you?
Another thing that matters to me is course options. I like schools with like a ton of options to choose from, because I don't know, I'm interested in a lot of things. So I want to keep my options like open for as much as possible. And yeah, like, you know, even like really specific courses.
Do you want to be able to take a lot of courses in university instead of just like one?
Well, yes, because I think for the first year I'm going to be taking a ton of courses and then see what I like first. But even though I know that I do have a path that I want to go into, like film, I want to do film in the future, I still want to broaden my like knowledge on everything.
Other
first.
subjects.
Yes, especially the humanities. What about you?
What about me? What?
What kind of courses do you like and do you look for when considering universities?
Well, personally, I don't have a very strong interest in anything yet. Like, nothing's really caught my eye. But I think I'd prefer to have, since I'm still not sure what I want to like spend all my time studying in. So I'd rather there be quite a lot of courses as well.
Oh, so like liberal arts, like.
Not necessarily, but
why not liberal arts? Because liberal arts gives you the liberty to choose whatever you want to learn and like learn from a broad range of subjects. So I think like liberal arts is like pretty great. Like I'm considering liberal arts school as well.
And what are some liberal arts schools? Do you know?
I'm considering Emerson College, which is in Boston. But problem with that is that, you know, weather. It's kind of cold in that area.
So I feel like weather is gonna limit you a lot, especially like.
Yes, it is, but it's just the weather is always a reflection of my mood. Like today was rainy, and then I felt gloomy, and then I felt tired. I didn't want to do anything.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Given those
That's hard.
I know, and I'm way too picky on weather, but it is. It's always a reflection of my mood.
You
So
live
when
in
it's like,
Hong Kong. The weather is like so unpredictable.
I know, but at least I don't like get a couple months of like no sunshine, you know, and like sludge outside, and it's like chilly.
What is your ideal weather then?
It would be Hong Kong without the humidity. I can't stand the humidity in Hong Kong.
And
but
pollution?
Yeah, pollution.
Who wants pollution?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think weather really matters to me.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like in my like college application process, like these kind of factors won't really affect me. Like I don't really care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm good at adjusting to different temperatures.
Interesting. Not me. I'm not very good at that.
Yeah.
And how about extracurriculars? What do you look for in a school? Like, do you want like a school that's like very sports focused, or like, or one that like has a lot of like student groups,
Student-led activities and everything?
Yeah, or student like committees and stuff.
Do you think that's very important in your university experience?
I don't think it's very important, but I think it'd be nice to like have those kind of options and to join different clubs and groups, because I feel like it sort of takes you away from like all that studying, or it sort of it gives you like, it's a way of doing things creatively. I feel like CCAs.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of learning can be done through like extracurriculars.
And I think it pulls you out of like that whole like you
like
need
study
your breaks.
grind.
Yeah, you need breaks.
Yeah, and to like meet new people who have like the similar interests as you. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's quite important for that. I think there's a stigma against students who go for like big name schools, like because a lot of students inevitably will.
You've used the word inevitably a lot today.
Thanks, Heather. Really? I did not know.
Continue. I'm sorry.
Where was my train of thought?
I'm sorry.
A lot of students go for the big name universities,
yes,
because of their parents,
Uh-huh.
and also just like they're going for the prestige, but that school might not necessarily be right for them. So I think
for sure.
So.
Our university counselors in our school, CIS, keep like kind of
emphasizing that fact.
emphasizes this a lot, because they know that a lot of the students in our year or in our school tend to only look at big names and don't look at the small details, which really
Matter.
are a big part of your experience at the school.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, are you excited
For university
and all that stuff?
Yes and no. Yes, I'm so excited to like explore a new city and like study something I'm very interested
It's
in.
like this is the first time in your life you're kind of like really
making a decision for yourself.
Yeah, and stepping out of your parents' like little umbrella and everything. So I feel like by going through this kind of experience, you'll definitely change and like learn a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I was gonna say something earlier and I forgot, but I remembered it now. So would you consider taking a gap year?
Interesting question. I actually considered for a very long time, because I want to do film in the future, and I was thinking if I do a gap year immersing myself in the industry, then perhaps I'd gain experience in the industry and like see if I really want to like work in that like field.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that, although it like sounds good and I think it'd be like a great experience, is that people will probably not offer me a job if I don't have a university like diploma, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
but you could like make your own films and everything. Like you'd have an entire year to completely experiment.
but also where would I get the budget from? Like I don't want to just like get money out of my dad's
parents.
Yeah, and like and if I stay in Hong Kong, like there's no point, because I've been living here for the past like my whole life. So there's no point if I do a gap year. There's no point in staying in Hong Kong. But if I go somewhere else, then my parents would have to pay for my like room and board and
your traveling.
Yeah, and
everything.
traveling fee and that's a huge concern, because I don't want to waste that gap year if I can start my like university experience. What about you?
Would I consider taking a gap year? You mean? Well, I'm quite young in our year, so like I think it is a possibility for me, because there's nothing stopping me from taking a gap year. Also because I don't know what I want to do in university, so I feel like taking a gap year and like trying new things out would help me.
Yeah, for sure. And like help with like maturing as a person as well.
Yeah, and like experiencing.
Yeah, gaining experience.
Yeah, but I mentioned it to my mom once, and she was quite against the idea.
How come?
I feel like it's because she's Korean. Like I don't think she really never thought of this, like taking a gap year as an option.
Same as my parents. Like they really didn't really consider.
But I also feel like I didn't explain it to her well enough. So
yeah, because I think to some parents it could just sound like, oh, I want to take a year to do nothing.
Play.
Yeah, just to do. Yeah, and
study.
You have to consider the fact that you're gonna have to apply to college again. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but I feel like I'm not gonna take a gap year. It's kind of weird to think about. Like this it doesn't really matter because everyone's going to different universities and
like everyone has their own like own career paths.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird to think that I'm not going to graduate the same time as all my friends right now.
That's true.
But shouldn't really be a big factor in influencing your decision.
Yeah, because even by the time you do graduate, like there are going to be some people who will go to graduate school and some people who
the UK is
get a
only
job.
3 years, right, in university.
I'm not too sure about that, but I know
Because
the US is 4 for most schools. So like, I first of all, I don't think there's any rush when deciding, and second of all, I think everyone has their own path. So do whatever feels right to you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. We had a third article to talk about. So,
Did you know that
yes. The third article. It's about taxi drivers, right?
Yes. According to SCMP, your Hong Kong taxi ride could be about to get more expensive as cabbies call for fare increases. So, Catherine, what's the starting fee for taxis at the moment?
Oh, wow. I take the taxi every day to get to school, but I'm not exactly sure. I think it's like 23, 24, 22? 22 to 24. I'm not sure exactly. But not 25.
24, right? I'm pretty sure it's 24.
Okay.
So, 27 taxi groups, which accounted for more than half the city's for 40,000 active cabbies, asked for a 20.39% increase in starting fee.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would amount to $30 Hong Kong. So it would the starting fee would be $30,
Which is quite a lot for customers. Because I remember like a few years ago,
It was 18.
It was still like 20. And
it was I remember a time when it was 18.
Yeah.
But according to
nearly-
statistics,
It's a little less than double the amount.
yeah.
According to statistics, yes.
Mm-hmm. The department found in a study that cabbies at best were earning 4.14% more at $18,648 a month since 2017 fares increases. And sometimes they suffered a 6.66% drop in income to $13,688 a month. And that's a huge burden both on the taxi drivers individually as well as the taxi business in Hong Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Because with with Ubers coming in to the transportation business,
Mm-hmm.
like many taxi drivers jobs are affected by that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, since the pay for being a taxi driver isn't all that appealing,
High, yeah,
isn't
yeah.
that high, it is a struggle for these drivers to be replaced by future generations because they might not there's not a high enough incentive.
So when you mentioned this article to me earlier today, my first reaction was like, wow, that's unbelievable. $30 is a
Yeah.
starting fee. And I take the taxi every morning to go to school. Because it's cheaper than the school bus, actually. $30 as a starting fee seems way too much to me from a customer's point of view, but from a taxi driver's point of view, it's still not that much, right?
Yeah, it's not that much at all.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you take the taxi often?
I take around once a week.
Once a week
Yeah. From Kellett School to Happy Valley, and I share it with a friend. So because we both live in Happy Valley, so the fee we each pay around $70, and which is not a lot at all. And I do think that if increasing the price would be more beneficial for the taxi drivers and the industry as a whole, I think that I think it's necessary.
Well, do you think even if the starting fee was $30, would you still take the taxi, or like that
Yes.
once a week, or would you try and find some other form of transportation?
Well, because my friend and I split, it's not that. I think it is worth it because we could take the MTR. I could take the MTR and then bus, but that would take me around like 45 minutes to get home, and I would get home at like 10 o'clock or something. But if I take the taxi, it takes me no more than like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
It
and
takes
then
like
you have to
10
go
minutes.
home, take a shower, do homework.
Yeah, and it takes me
everything.
10 minutes. So it takes like about, taking a taxi will take a quarter of the time it takes for me to take an MTR. So yes, I would still take the taxi. But you said that if the taxi fare increases to $30, you wouldn't take the taxi to school every morning.
I'd try and find some other form of transportation
but-
to get to school.
But you don't mind sacrificing time for that? Like, you know, because you take the ferry to school every morning.
Yeah, but transportation takes up a lot of money for me because I live far away from school, and like my home is far away from like everything in general. Like my friends I live in Discovery Bay, and it's kind of, you have to take a ferry to get there. And so in the mornings I take the ferry in the morning, which is 30 minutes, and then I take the taxi to school. But on my way back home, I'll always take the MTR, or I'll take the bus and ferry back home. And the reason we started taking the taxi, me and a few other people who live where I live to get to school, is because it's actually cheaper than the school bus. But I feel like if the starting fee was $30, it'd be more expensive. So I'd either I'd probably start taking the school bus again, or I'd try and wake up earlier and get to school by MTR and bus, because
That's very.
it's a lot
that's
of money.
good. Yeah,
Like
that is
transportation
true.
takes up so much of
But what if? But you do split the taxi with like other people, right? So the increase
Yeah.
wouldn't be that much, right?
I think it's still a lot, because like especially because the other people who take the taxi is another year 12 student and a year 13 student, and we're often busy, and the year 13 student especially always like sometimes misses out on a few days, so it's only 2 people. So that's like how much is it? That's from the taxi ride from school, from the ferry, from where I take the taxi to school is around $75 to $80. So that'd be, if it was 2 people rotating, that'd be like $120 every week to get to school.
That is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you considered maybe like getting one of those like designated taxis, like one driver waits for you every morning? Because I know in Happy Valley sometimes when I like get a taxi in the morning, taxi drivers wouldn't take me because they'd be waiting for their customer.
But wouldn't the fee still be the same?
But unless you work up some deal with them, like maybe like Ubers.
I feel like I'd have to pay them more for them to wait for me at that area all the time.
That is true. What about school bus?
School bus is very expensive, the CIS school bus. So I used to take it from year 7 I used to take it until like 2 years ago. I stopped. Sorry, let me restart my sentence. I stopped taking the school bus 2 years ago because me and my friends agreed to take the taxi.
Right.
We calculated it. And
yeah, for me, I live in Happy Valley, so I just take 2 buses to school every morning. I take one bus to Causeway Bay and one bus to school, and I think that works best for me.
yeah, definitely. And living far away affects me so much because like, money and time just really.
That is true.
It's spent a lot.
How long does it take for you to get to Causeway? Because I know that Enzo, he lives
Causeway Bay from where?
From Central. Because I know it's one of my friends lives in Kowloon, but comes to Causeway Bay every morning to take the bus up.
Okay, well, I'll answer your question after the news break, and we'll be playing a song by Parcels called With or Without. Yes.
Enjoy!
Metro Plus, a service of Metro Broadcast. Now the news with Jeanette Gaius.
Israeli aircraft struck Friday overnight several military targets of Hamas in the Gaza Strip, hours after a projectile was fired from the Gaza Strip at Israel. The Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, said in a statement that several military targets in a Hamas compound in the southern Gaza Strip and underground structures in the northern Gaza Strip were struck. The IDF added the strike was conducted in response to the projectile that was launched from the Gaza Strip at Israeli territory Friday evening and the continued violence, including the launching of balloons carrying explosive devices and attempts to damage security infrastructure over the last days. According to Israeli media, no casualties were reported by the projectile attack, which fell in an open field. The White House said in a statement Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro will visit the White House on March 19th, and it's expected to discuss subjects including the situation in Venezuela with U.S. President Donald Trump. Bolsonaro is a far-right former army captain who openly admires Trump. In a phone call after Bolsonaro's election victory in October, they spoke of a strong commitment to work side by side on issues affecting their countries. Even before taking office in January, Bolsonaro pledged to oppose the government of Venezuela, where an economic crisis has caused millions of people to flee, many to neighboring Brazil. Chinese medical team in Mozambique gave a lecture on women's sexual and reproductive health to students and teachers in Mozambique's prestigious Ecuador Mondlane University. Gatina Isabel, a student and participant, said, "We had a small lecture about women's sexual and reproductive health. The doctors went through sexual transmitted diseases on how to prevent them. They spoke about the contraception methods, very important for women like us as college students." Isabel said similar lectures should be given more to encourage women and girls to pay attention to their own health and to better take care of themselves. The lecture on the International Women's Day also went through gynecologic diseases like cervical and breast cancers, which affect many women in Mozambique, and it also served as a platform for students to seek health consultations with the Chinese doctors. A U.S. federal judge who ordered that more than 2,700 children be reunited with their parents expanded his authority to potentially thousands more children who were separated at the border earlier during the Trump administration. Dana Sabro ruled that his authority applies to parents who were separated at the border on or after July 1st, 2017. Previously, his orders applied only to parents whose children were in government custody on June 26, 2018, when he issued his initial decision in the case. Sabro was responding to a report in January by the U.S. Health and Human Services Department's international watchdog that said thousands more children may have been separated since the summer of 2017, which he noted has not been disputed. The department's inspector general said the precise number was unknown. Charges were unsealed against a former Venezuelan vice president in New York federal court as authorities accused him of using his office to aid international drug traffickers. Tarek El Aissami and Venezuelan businessman Samark Jose Lopez Bello were charged with violating the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act and U.S. Treasury Department sanctions. Even before the charges were announced, the U.S. has accused El Aissami of playing a major role in global drug trafficking, a charge he denies. El Aissami, who is now the Minister of Industry and National Production, is the most senior Venezuelan official ever targeted by the U.S.
Metro Plus, your radio weather.
Mainly cloudy with a few showers. Visibility relatively low in some areas at first. More showers and isolated thunderstorms overnight. It will be cool. Temperatures will range between 16 and 18 degrees tomorrow. Moderate to fresh north-northeasterly winds, occasionally strong offshore at first. Relative humidity stands at 95%. For the outlook, mainly fine with cool mornings in the following couple of days. And that's the weather from your radio, plus 1044.
The road is not for text messaging, nor for social networking. And of course, not for mobile games. Drivers should always be on the alert. Those who use mobile phones or tablets while driving are risking their lives. For safety's sake, keep your hands on the steering wheel and your eyes on the road. No distractions. Drivers should pay attention to the road ahead.
Welcome back. Yeah, I just wanted to correct myself. I made a mistake earlier on. Parcels. We'll be playing a song. We'll be playing the song by Parcels later on. Yeah. So I think you asked me a question before the news break. What was your question? Do you remember it?
No.
Okay. Well, then we'll pass that. Yeah.
So, Catherine, I heard that you play guitar really well.
Well, that's
Would
a
you like
lie
to-
because I don't play it very well, but I can play the guitar.
All right. Well, let's hear something.
You want to hear a song?
Yes.
Okay. Well, will you sing?
Maybe. What song is it?
What is it called? Pumped Up Kicks.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I can't really sing it at all, but
Do you know the lyrics?
Yes, I do know the lyrics, but I'm just not a very good singer. All right, let's
Are you
let's
ready?
play it.
I'm embarrassed by my guitar
Come on, you got
playing.
this. You got this.
Okay. You're supposed to sing.
You're supposed to sing too.
Okay. Robert's got a quick hand. Look around the room, he won't tell you his plan. He's got a rolled cigarette hanging out of mouth. He's a cowboy kid, yeah, found a 6-shooter gun in his dad's closet and fun things I don't even know what. But he's coming for you, yeah, he's coming for you. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, outrun my gun. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, faster than my bullet. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, outrun my gun. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, faster than my bullet. Whoa! Thank
Okay,
you
no,
very
next
much.
chorus. I like the next chorus.
Okay, we're continuing.
All right.
3, 2, 1,
Go.
go. He works a long day. He be coming home late. He be coming home late. And he's gonna bring me the surprise. 'Cause dinner's in the kitchen and it's packed in ice. I've waited for a long time. And this love in my hand is now quick, pull the trigger. I reason with my cigarette. And say your hair is on fire, you must have lost your wits, yeah. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, outrun my gun. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, faster than my bullet. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. That was
I hope
Pumped
you
Up
enjoyed
Kicks
that.
by Catherine and Cheryl. With Catherine on the guitar and Catherine and Cheryl on the vocals and just mostly Catherine.
All right, Catherine. One woman show practically.
Well, I don't really play the guitar, as you could tell. I don't play it very well, but I learned it by myself.
That's interesting. I'm also learning the guitar in my own time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool to like pick up a new instrument.
Yeah, and I feel like the guitar is easy to learn by yourself to like a basic standard, like to a standard, like a
Like
basic
not like
level.
classical guitar,
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
learning
yeah.
how to play a couple songs.
Like simple pop songs. Like
Yeah.
once you know a few chords and you can
Yeah.
easily play a lot of songs.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I learned the ukulele first. before
Yeah, me
I-
too.
The fingering was hard.
Oh my god, ukulele was so hard to pick up because I wasn't exposed to any string instruments or played any instruments, and like my fingers were, I thought my fingers were just small and like my hands were small for the ukulele, but then after a while like you kind of get used to it, and then like your fingers get more control, and then like after that like picking up the guitar would be much easier.
Yeah. Like I tried learning the guitar when I was little because I thought it sounded nice and everything, but I couldn't get it. So then a few years later I tried playing the ukulele because you know at our school they played like
Yeah.
a lot of like the people in our year were learning how to play the ukulele.
I was one of them.
Yeah, and so was I, and I was like, wow, maybe I should try playing the guitar again. And I learned a few chords on my own. I can't play very well, but at least I can play and sing.
Next time, let's do a jam session where I bring my guitar and my ukulele, and then we can both.
I can play the piano to a basic level as well, which I learned online. But I only play the same 2 songs all the time. Anyways, do you play any other instruments besides like
Well,
these kind of stuff?
Like a lot of Asian kids, I played the piano as a kid. My mom kind of forced me to play. And then after 2 years, like, I really had no interest in it, and then so I just stopped playing. But, like, do I wish I'd continued? A little bit. But then again, like, if I never enjoyed it, I don't regret not doing it.
For me, like, when I was younger, my mom always sent me to sport lessons. Like, I can play so many sports to, like, at least a basic, like, level. Like, football, swimming, ice skating, tennis, basketball, ping pong. Like, I've tried so many things, and I kind of wish that I got to try more like artsy kind of lessons, like painting or like singing, playing instrument. Like, my mom did send me to piano for a few years because Asian parents, which I ended up quitting, but I regret it. Because I think the piano is amazing. Like, being able to play the piano is... Because my friends play the piano, and I like listening to them play. So I was like, I wish I played the piano as well. But yeah, I wish I got to try different kind of more art-based stuff rather than just sports.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm actually the opposite. Like, when I was a kid, my mom enrolled me in, like, a ton of, like, art classes, like sketching and painting and dance and music, but I didn't do a lot of, like, sports. And it's funny because now I'm older, like, I like sport. I play a lot of sports, but not as much of, like, arts and stuff. Like, arts is just, like a side thing for me to de-stress, I guess. So, like, it's funny because we're completely opposites in that regard. Yeah. And I think, like, it's important for your child to, like, be exposed to, like, a variety of things so they can pick and choose which ones they like. And they don't have to like, there's no pressure on them to continue a certain thing. Like, you know, you can try as many things as you want, and if you don't like something, then you quit, and if you do like it, you stick with it. So there's no harm in trying a lot.
But to be fair, we're quite privileged, and we get
we do get to
a lot of other kids might not even get to take any kind of
that
lessons.
is true. But then again, if we're talking about, like, the subject of, like, learning new things, I think, like, right now we're lucky enough to be born at a time and age where, like, you can learn so many.
Self-learn is
it's so easy now. Like, you can search up any YouTube video to play the guitar, even piano lessons online. Like,
even some of our school subjects, I feel like, is a lot of self-learning.
Yeah, like, if, for example, like,
economics is a lot of it's really book-based.
Like, biology, physics, chem, like, you can find that on the free learning site, like Khan Academy. I think Khan Academy is honestly one of the best.
Did you study
websites.
For the SATs?
Yes, I actually study my SATs on that website too, and I think it's, like, such a great
There's so many, like,
resource.
Online platforms that can help you.
Yeah, because for Khan Academy, like, let's say that, like since it's free, and as long as you have Wi-Fi or the internet connection, you can access it. Like, it gives so many, like, children or students the opportunity to learn a subject that they might never be able to in their own environment. And I think, like, that's honestly just amazing. So.
Yeah, I agree. Do you play any sports?
Yeah, I play lacrosse.
Right, lacrosse.
Yeah.
You wanna talk about
lacrosse
lacrosse?
Lacrosse is a really fun sport. I think everyone should try it once in their lifetime because it's so much fun. Like,
and it's definitely not a very popular sport in Hong Kong.
Yeah, not in Hong Kong, but it's actually the Canadian national sport.
Oh. Yeah. Are you Canadian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm
Canadian. It's a great sport because, well, first of all, it's very technical. So I'm not saying, like, sports like basketball is super easy, but you don't have to learn how to hold the ball necessarily, right?
Yeah.
Or, like, pass. Well, maybe you have to learn how to pass.
It's just the shooting.
Yeah, exactly. But in terms of lacrosse, it's so, like, it's so technical, as in, like, it took me so long to learn how to, like, pass and catch with a lacrosse
stick and like
a ball. It was so hard, and, like, I'm still not perfect at it, but
of course, yeah.
But it's just it's so fun, and the technical combined with, like, the fast-paced game. I think it's a great sport, and, like, the friendships you build, like, while being on, like, a team is just the best thing ever.
You sound like my mom.
Really?
When she plays tennis, my mom recently got not recently, it's like a few years, right? It's already been like 4 years maybe, she got really, really into tennis. And there's like a whole tennis community where I live, and it's like such a big thing. Like there are huge competitions. A lot of adults play it. There's like the Korean team, there's a Germany team, and everything.
That's cool.
And she loves it. Yeah, and
and does she think it's like a good team sport? Because in my mind, like tennis isn't really a team sport. So what's like the team aspect to it?
it's just like, well, where we live, it's like it's like it is a team. Like there's a Korean team, or it's like not necessarily a Korean team. Like there are a lot of teams, and just playing like doubles or playing with the same people, practicing with the same people. Like she made so many new friends through playing tennis.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's great.
And yeah, she loves it. She worked really hard to become good at it.
Oh
yeah,
well, that's good to hear. What about you? Do you like tennis?
Yeah, I play tennis mostly because my mom wants me to play tennis. She thinks it's a really good sport to play when I'm older. But yeah, it's fun. I think like it feels good to hit the ball. It feels satisfying.
Yeah.
Especially like once you know like the technique and everything.
I've never tried tennis in my life.
Really? Have you played other like racket sports like ping pong or squash?
I used to play badminton. And I think badminton's so fun because I just prefer badminton because I've never tried tennis, but I think like I'd like to try tennis someday.
I think badminton and tennis are like a little, I don't know, like I knew how to play tennis, so during our PE units when we have badminton, out of the girls at least, like I can do better than them because I have like some technique with the racket.
Right, but isn't it very different? Because badminton, like it's the flick of the wrist, but then tennis, it's like the arm, right?
It's more,
the whole body rotation.
It's still better than nothing, you know?
Yeah. Like hand-eye coordination.
I played ping pong before I played tennis.
Yeah, those are very like coordinated sports. Like just like hand-eye coordination like matters a lot.
But
yeah,
swimming used to be my main sport.
Yeah, I think every kid should learn swimming in their life.
Swimming. It's literally it's all benefits. There's nothing bad. Like running a lot is good, but like it's bad for like
your knees.
And like the weight you put on, and running for too long is not good for you. But swimming, I used to run and swim a lot. Like I'd go running and then afterwards I'd go swimming, and sometimes my muscles would be so sore after running, but then I'd swim right after, and it kind of like
releases it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Swimming is it's all benefits for real.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So I can swim.
Great.
Do you go to a lot of lacrosse competitions?
I went to my first lacrosse competition in Melbourne, like earlier this year, and it was a great experience. Yeah, like I got to play for Hong Kong, which is like such an honor.
Yeah.
And like just the best experience. Yeah, I think like everyone should try it sometime. So if you go to college and like there's like a club sport for lacrosse, I think you should definitely try.
I don't think I've ever played lacrosse.
Well, you should try because it's one of those sports where like I think anyone could like. Okay. Like if you like running around and if you like team sports, like I think you'll like it.
Yeah, and I think there are just not many opportunities to play lacrosse in Hong Kong. That's why.
But there's only one organization, but.
I play frisbee as well. I don't think frisbee is a very big sport. Well, wasn't a very big. I can't call it sport, right? There's like the debate of whether frisbee is a sport or not.
Frisbee is a very unique sport because like obviously the no referee thing, the self call.
Yeah.
Which
so like, a lot of people argue that it's not a sport, but chess is a sport. So I feel like, in my opinion, sport is more like
running around.
Yeah.
And like physical activity.
Yeah. So I in my head I classify frisbee as a sport. And I don't think it was.
I do have a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, it's like throwing a disc and catch. Like it sounds fun, right?
Yeah.
Does it sound fun?
It does sound fun.
Yeah, and
everyone's like really like happy like when they play, just like friendly and like.
It's like a very team sport. Yeah. Well, I started playing that recently and I like it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. I thought, okay, yeah.
What about bowling?
Bowling?
Yes.
Is that a sport? Is bowling a
I
sport?
think so.
I like bowling, but for fun with my friends.
What about professional bowling?
I knew that professional bowling was a thing, but I've never like seen any videos of it or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering what is that sport like that sport in the Olympics that they have? It's like Canadian, I think.
Hockey? Ice hockey?
No, but it's like kind of like I forgot what it's called.
What do people do in that sport?
I'm not even sure. I forgot what it's called.
Do you know what they do? What motion? Is it a ball or is it one
I'm not even sure. It's like kind of like pushing something.
Rowing? No.
No, not rowing.
This is like 20 questions.
Do you know that sport? Yeah, it's Canadian, and I think people make fun of it. Yeah, something like that. What is it called?
Polo?
Not polo. Okay, well, I can't remember what it's called. Hey, don't you do horse riding?
Oh yes, I do horse riding. And funny thing, I was researching universities and researching their extracurriculars, and one of the two things that I look for in a university with extracurriculars is equestrian team and lacrosse team. Not
You play a very unique sport.
Yeah, and like you know, like I think even if I don't end up joining those teams, I think having that option would just make me feel like make me feel good knowing that university has that option for me to participate in, because I would still like to like pursue some of my hobbies and interests in university. Like you with the ultimate frisbee, if there's like a big
I'm not that into ultimate frisbee.
Oh, well, if you for eating.
Like, oh yes, okay, I remembered what it was called. Well, yes, curling.
What is curling?
Oh damn it, you don't know what curling is?
No.
Well, that just ruins it, because I was gonna ask you if you knew about curling.
Oh, actually, I do know that sport. I think I played it in PE before.
PE?
Yes, I played it last year in PE. They have this, basically, there's this, it's a bit like ice hockey, as in you have a stick, and then you have these, like, little, like, cone thingies, that you kind of, like, push around.
I don't know, it sounds funny. Curling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it in PE class last year. It was interesting.
Do you do snowboarding or skiing?
I've skied once in my lifetime in Japan. It was such a fun experience, but and I thought funny story. I thought I was really good at skiing because I didn't have to use a little sticks. And then I realized that that's only because I was going down the beginner slope and I didn't need one. So I thought I was like so cool. I was like, I don't need sticks.
How old were you?
14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I snowboard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So do you like it? Was it hard to pick up? Because I know skiing is something that's like easy to pick up but hard to master. But like apparently snowboarding is like hard to pick up but like easier to master, I guess.
I know the first like kind of like winter sport that I tried was skiing, but that was years ago. But I snowboard now and it's fun. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think it was hard to pick up. Like, I remember I spent the first day just, like, having a private lesson with someone, like, them teaching me everything. And then I remember the next winter, I was, like, smooth and like, fine
really?
on my own right away.
Did you fall over a lot when you first started?
Yeah. You if you fall forwards, you fall on your knees and your hands. And then if you fall backwards, you fall on
Is it scary? Is that painful?
Yeah, and like, the next, because you keep on doing that. Like, it doesn't hurt that much at first. But, like, after doing that the entire day, the next day, I couldn't even, like, sit down or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And where do you ski or snowboard?
Korea.
Where?
I don't know.
Because I really want to go to Korea to
the Pyeongchang.
Is it nice there?
I don't
Is the snow
know.
nice there?
I don't know. I've never been.
What?
I've never been.
I thought you just said you go to Korea to ski.
Yeah, but not to that skiing, like that skiing.
Oh, I
resort.
asked you where you ski. Where do you ski?
In Korea.
All right.
In Seoul.
Seoul. Oh, nice. Seoul.
Seoul.
Oh, Seoul.
Yes.
Seoul.
Yes.
Oh.
Speaking of Korea, have you ever been to Korea?
I have been to Korea. I've been to Seoul before. It's a very nice place. I've been to this really nice place called the Dog Cafe, where there was like 20-something dogs, and they just like roam around, and then
Never
you like
heard of
sit
Dog
down.
Cafe.
It's in
I've only
Myeongdong.
heard of Cat Cafe.
It's in, do you know Myeongdong?
Myeongdong, yes.
Yes, it was there. And then, so you go into this room, and then, so my mom took me there, and like she like shopped there, and I was too bored of shopping, so she'd like, so in the beginning of the day, she'd take me to that dog cafe, dump me there, and then she'd go like do her thing, and then pick me up, and then we'd go. And because I would just like sit there and like, you know, play with the dogs the whole time. All right, so thank you for tuning in to Campus Radio this week, and we'll see you next week. We'll end with a song called With or Without by Parcels.
Yeah.
Bye!
Goodbye. 再见.
You were the bird stuck in my
Metro Plus, your radio